I do have one question, and um, maybe it's maybe it's a little churchy or whatever, but I think to me it's an important question, because in my personal life I've got to be a part of different, a lot of different, I would say, Christian cultures, right, where they all agree on the Bible and evangelism and all these other things in different ways and have different views of them. And specifically evangelism, where we get to go and share our faith or try to go and convert other people or whatever. But to me, like, I feel like I've seen that demonstrated at sometimes good, and I feel like I've seen it demonstrated a lot of times bad. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out currently in my faith is I feel like, here's my question. I feel like a lot of times evangelism gets reduced to, hey, we're going to go put targets on the back of people, and we're going to go to Walmart, and your job is to go share Jesus with 50 people. And if you didn't do that, you didn't do a good job. I exaggerate that a little bit. But I think, like, and this is my personal idea, I think that God already created a tool for evangelism, an avenue for it called friendship. And so it's like, I don't want to just go out and paint targets on people's backs and make people objectives, because they're people. There's so much more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts regarding evangelism and how that relates to us, and maybe the right way to do it, the wrong way?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I've struggled with that through the years. And in fact, when I came along in college, that evangelism was more about, sharing a plan of salvation, a way, going out and winning somebody to the Lord so that they prayed a commitment prayer and then they followed in baptism somewhere.
Yeah.
And so that way you kind of like, okay, so, I mean, when I was in college, I'd go out on weekends and speak to youth groups and sometimes churches. And question, you come back in, how many people were saved?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's like, I got to count them because that determines am I good or not. It's a sales meeting, I'm back at a sales meeting.
Yeah. Man.
How many sales did you make? And that's not evangelism, or it's not the best way of doing it.
Mm.
So let's just go back. What is evangelism? It's we're all evangelists in the sense that we are all proclaimers of the good news. That's what evangel is, the good news. It's proclaiming the good news. Okay. I can do that from a friend's deal. That's the safest place. It's the place where you would be more credible.
Mm.
You would listen to me if we're friends more than you would if we were strangers. But the truth is, the gospel is so powerful that anytime you have an opportunity that's legitimate to proclaim the good news, you're doing evangelism. Sometimes it's with strangers.
Mm.
Otherwise, you would never. The Bible didn't say go make friends of the whole world and then try to win a few of them.
Yeah.
Go make disciples. Well, obviously you want to be friendly, and otherwise you're not demonstrating the gospel, because the gospel makes you love people.
Mm.
So I hear what you're saying about, to be friends is would be the first goal. But you're not going to get to be friends with everybody that you're going to get to share the gospel with.
Mm.
So, but what we can eliminate is getting the points for how many closes you made. You're not a salesman. You're not out here selling a product and closing on the guy and making the sale and getting his name on the list, and then thinking that That makes you successful. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better evangelist. It makes God love you more. You got to get rid of all that. It's that, no, I share the good news because the good news has captured me, and I like you, and I know you will be. There's no way you can ever become the potential that God had in mind when He created you if you don't know this good news. And because I love you and know I would love you more if I knew you, I'm going to share the good news with you if you give me opportunity. So, the Apostle Paul goes to Athens, and he's at Athens, and all these philosophers are up on Mars Hill sharing their different views of religion and whatever. He's not friends with any of them. But he goes and he goes, well, hey, I hear you guys have got a format here or a platform here where y'all can share your views with stuff, right? And it's like, right, okay, I got something I want to say. And so he stands up and says, let me tell you another story. And he tells them the story of God. And he didn't have a lot of people say, but he had a few. But it made the Bible, and it changed. It's still in there. It's still changing people's lives.
Wow.
So I think we got to get a better view of the gospel if we want to get a better view of evangelism.
Man, that's so good. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh. Man, that's really good.
I love you, Tallon.
Sometimes I want to get up and take a lap, but I don't think I'd be received well.
Yeah. So what kind of gospel is it that turns into the, I got to make the sale? It's the gospel of propositions, what I call. I give you a proposition. If you will do this, you will get these things. Are you willing to do this? So I'm making a sell. It's a proposition. Believe this, you'll get this. So, we call it the plan of salvation. Well, okay, there's a way of, I guess what we meant by that, here is a way of sharing the good news. But the gospel is the declaration that God has done something in Christ that makes you a new person and gives you a whole new life and a whole new future. And it gives you life now. It gives you somebody who delights in you now that you can actually know. And therefore you don't have to get a list, and you don't have to go to Dudley and ask him to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
You got him living inside of you. So the gospel is more a presentation of a present Christ who has finished the work to give you everything that you've ever needed. That's a good statement. I wish I need to write that down.
Oh, we got it recorded, thankfully. So I'll go down and I'll write it down.
So anyway, we used a baseball metaphor. Is what I used to feel like when, I'd have a pastor to invite me to his church, and I'm younger, and so I'm speaking to all the young people, and so I know what he wants. He wants me to be the closer on the baseball team. Okay, so these kids have been coming to youth groups and going to camps and all that kind of stuff. But now he's got them all together. We've had our pizza party, and they're all there. And so here's Dudley, the athlete, he's going to speak to him. He wants me to be the closer, like the baseball pitcher who comes in the last of the ninth inning and seals the deal. So I come in and I give the great message, inspiring message, and it's like, okay, now all of you who are willing to give your life to Christ, come down here and do it. And then so we can say, well, all right, we had 50 people, we had 500 people, whatever. Okay, that's not a good metaphor. The closer is not a good metaphor. The announcer is a better metaphor. Who is an evangelist? The announcer, the guy who's saying, well, let me tell you what's happened, and let me tell you what's happening right now. This is what God's done in the past. This is who Jesus is. This is what he's done for you, and you can know him.
Wow.
So,
man, that's really good. And then I feel like when we see God for who he really is, and when we see what Jesus did for what he really accomplished, then evangelism, kind of that announcement, can't help but be a byproduct of the life that we live.
Yeah.
Because the goodness and the greatness of what has transpired is so good, it can't help but spill over the rim.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
man, that's incredible.
And so I know you've had this experience, and you'll have it more. But as you make friends, and you'll make a lot of friends because you're a friendly person.
Well, thanks.
But people ask, why don't I have more friends? It's because you're a jerk. who wants to be friends with you? But when you're making friends, eventually, and it may happen the first time you're with them, but it may be when you're out, having coffee or whatever, but they're going to go, well, what makes you like you are? You're different. I wanted to have coffee with you because you're a good man. And I always love when people say, "You're a good man." I go, no. Let me tell you, I'm really not a good man, because if you knew all the fears and doubts and stuff that's ever gone on down here, you'd probably want to run out of here. But I can tell you what happened to me. I can tell you, who in my life makes life worth living. You want to know that? Now I'm an evangelist, and I'm friendly enough that they want to know that. So, you tell them. I mean, you're not going to have a friend that you don't tell the most important thing in your life to.
Yeah.
You're not going to be friends. And 6 years from now, you find out I'm a Christian. You're going to find that out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't mentioned it today, but I have noticed that being around you, you want to talk about your fiance. Well, the girl that we're hoping is going to be here.
Soon to be fiance. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you talk about her. You can't make you not talk about her.
Yeah.
If we were friends and we went 3 months and you didn't tell me you had a fiance, I'd tell you you're nuts.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right here.
Yeah.
So anyway, evangelism is a fruit of a joyful life, and it's a fruit of being captured by a good news that is so great you just can't contain it.
Wow.
And when it turns into a duty of, I got to go win you to Christ, that's no fun.
We're missing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, even in my relationship with Brooke, like, I find that there are periods, what is a great indication of my own emotional healthiness. Like, maybe I've had a long day or something stressful happened, this or that or whatever. But like, if there are certain things that I do when I'm just super in love with Brooke, my girlfriend. Yeah. Like that, like this morning, I just called her. I was like, "Hey, I know I called you this morning to tell you good morning, but I just got to work. But I just wanted to let you know, hey, I love you.
Still love you.
Still love you. It's only been an hour and 10 minutes, but hey, nothing's changed for me. But then on the days I'm not doing too hot, sometimes I'm like, all right, babe, I can't talk right now. I'm not in a good place. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Or not like that, but it's like, it's an indicator on kind of how I'm doing, if my intimacy with her is a chore or if it's something that's just inspired in me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really good point. Very few times when I was traveling a lot, where I'd be so tired, I just don't want to talk to anybody. I've been talking all day, and I think I haven't called my wife. I need to call my wife. But most of the time, I couldn't wait. It's like, not I have to call my wife. It is I get to call my wife.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's the inspired life. I think that's what Christianity boils down to. At least in my life, like, I want to live the inspired life.
Yeah.
That only comes from Him and knowing Him.
Yeah.